I have my grandmother. She was very strong. I mean, she was not very tall woman, and she was very powerful. She started just like when I grew up with her, and she started like when she was very young. She made a divorce. At this time, it was 1947. And she divorced. She took my father. She had just like one kid, my father. She took my father and she took a horse and she escaped from the place. And my grandfather, who was in the court, with the king. I mean, not really a king, but sultan, what we call it. And he sent like soldiers, and they kept her, and they took my father, and they said, "Go away if you want divorce." And then they keep my father with his father, and she left. She disappeared for several years. When she came back, she was always alone, and she has never had another, love or another story. And when I was child, I was like around 5 or 6. I used to go to Quranic school, and once the Marabout beated me, and I was just like crying and etc. And she came out. She came out and she brought me to the Marabout, and she said she insulted him and she bring everything, And then she said, "From now, Haroun will not study here and etc." We moved from this place, and as the city was very small, when my father brought me to another Quranic school, it was just that the message was, "Don't touch to Haroun, if not his mother is coming." Yeah, that was my grandmother. She was just like, if you touch me, I'm calling my grandmother. And she was just like, it was, divorcing in 1947. That was my grandmother. And she was, for me, a great example. And I had something, she's my mother. And then I have my mother, of course, my father is also, someone who is really listening to problems and etc. Very close to his daughters, because he has like 4 daughters, and so I grew up with a lot of women, my sisters, my mother, my grandmother, a lot of aunts and etc. And I started like learning to cook with my mother, because I was the elder every time. So the elder, and so I think I have this feminine part in me, and it emerged now. I'm sorry for that. It could be emerged, when I was 20, but sometimes we are not always the master of our own memory. It's a kind of wave. It comes when the wind is good, and so it comes now. Yeah. Well, it works very well. I feel myself like habiting in France, but living in Chad. So it's just like in my head, I'm always in Chad. I speak with my mother, my sisters every day. I have a connection, daily connection with Chad, and I think that you have your own country in your heart. You bring it everywhere. As an artist, everything starts in the childhood, So the image of Chad, I have it just with me since I was child, and I think that it starts. Being an artist start in your childhood, and you have this kind of obsessions. It begin, when you're child. So it's not a problem to be exiled. Exile is part also of artistic way of being sometimes. So but I don't feel myself disconnected. That's why I can. And a lot of people told me all my films they feel that it's a real and inside, point of view, because I try to do just the right thing, I try to have the right point of view, and this is very important. It's just like trying to be humble, and not to see people from upstairs, trying to be at the same level, try to believe how they are, and try to not, to give the right image of people. That's what I'm trying to do. And as I love them, it gives me the energy and the force to reach maybe the right point of view. Yeah.